We've all seen the movie Jurassic Park, right? 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest filmmakers of our time. Uh, Based off a 1990 science fiction novel by Michael Crichton, who you may have heard of. He wrote and directed the movie Westworld, which is that series is based off of. And the movie, uh, the Jurassic Park movie, while some of the story elements are similar to the novel. It's vastly different. Like even the character of John Hammond, the guy who creates Jurassic Park, he's a lot different in the novel. He's actually more nefarious, an asshole, really, and he actually meets his demise in the novel. I won't say how. You'll just have to read and find out. And the main villain of the whole story, though, is this guy called Lewis Dodgson, who he actually appears in the latest Jurassic movie, Jurassic World Dominion, as the main antagonist. He's the guy who creates the locusts that, start wiping out everybody's uh, grains and whatnot. And so he's the one who sends Dennis Nedry to Jurassic Park to get the embryos in the Barbasol. Is it Barbasol? Yeah, Barbasol can, which we actually see in Jurassic World Dominion, like as a little Easter egg. Which it kind of suggests, like, okay, they actually did go retrieve that Barbasol can and get these embryos, which actually was a plot point that Spielberg was going to use originally, like in the fourth Jurassic movie. They were going to bring back the Barbasol can story element, but yeah, it was just kind of like tossed aside because he they wanted to do their own thing in the Lost World movie. Although there are scenes in the movie that happen in the book, like the trailers, the two tyrannosaurs trying to knock over the trailers off the cliff, and the main bad guy getting fed to the baby dinosaur, even though the main bad guys were switched in the movie. But yeah, it's a cautionary tale about genetic engineering. I'm sure you know this already. Presents the collapse of an amusement park showcasing genetically recreated dinosaurs to illustrate the mathematical concept of chaos theory, which is Ian Malcolm's main thing. He goes on about it in the movie, and it's much more touched upon in the book. That's even illustrated. Like Ian Malcolm's drawings are in the book, kind of depicting chaos theory and its real world implications. A sequel titled The Lost World, yeah, like I said, published in 1995, and the movie came shortly after. And the film was both a critical and commercial success. We know this. And Crichton's novels have sold over 200 million copies. So why are we so fascinated by this? Why? uh, I think it really just comes from our fascination with dinosaurs and the way they ruled Earth before like we even came here. Like they were just kicking around, not really having to worry about having to worry about each other mostly, but they were the dominant species until a cataclysm happened, and then eventually we came around. So there's that aspect, and we see remnants of them around. So our whole it's it's a very existential question. Like we're humans. There's this God aspect. Like God created humans in His own image. So what are dinosaurs supposed to be like? What you know? Where did they come from? So there's this constant battle between science and faith, because of this discovery that mankind made. We dug up these bones and said, "Oh shit, there was something here, like long before we were here." I mean, they most likely were not sentient. The dinosaurs, just like giant lizards, like we say now. So you have paleontology really blowing up from this novel and the movie, especially the movie. Like you saw with Jaws, it was people not wanting to go into the water anymore, or they're hunting down great white sharks because oh god, there are these monsters. You know this misconception from the movies. But I think with Jurassic Park, it had more of a positive, outcome with more people getting into science to STEM. Maybe you got more chaos theorists out of it. Maybe you got more, yeah, like I said, paleontologists, genetic engineers, because biotechnology is a big aspect of Michael Crichton's novels, and he really wants you to think in these novels. He also wants you to have a good time, though. It's very action packed, and the characters are pretty well rounded, especially Alan Grant and Ian Malcolm. And you see this in the movies too. Like you really root for them. So the story is mostly the same. Tim and Lex join the tour group. So you got Hammond's grandchildren, Ian Malcolm, and Ellie Sattler and Alan Grant. Okay, and yes, Henry Wu is like a major character in the books, just as is in the movies. And Robert Muldoon, the hunter, the public relations manager Ed Regis, the veterinarian Jerry Harding. Yep. Grant does find the Velociraptor eggshell, just like in the movie. Proving that Malcolm's earlier assertion that the dinosaurs have somehow been breeding against the geneticist's design, actually life found a way. And Dennis Nedry does get killed by the Dilophosaurus. So a lot of the story elements are the same, just some little tweaks. And the novel, yeah, the development of the novel goes. The novel began as a screenplay. Crichton wrote. He actually wrote under a lot of pseudonyms in his earlier years. I don't know if he wrote this in a pseudonym at first. It's about a graduate student who recreates a dinosaur. Eventually, given his reasoning that genetic research is expensive and there is no pressing need to create a dinosaur, Crichton concluded that it would emerge from a desire to entertain, leading to a wildlife park of extinct animals. Thus, Jurassic Park was born. And I think that really would happen. If we had this power to recreate these things, somebody would do that. Like, I mean, I'm sure you would have people like in the movies trying to weaponize them, but you'd also have people just trying to create a theme park and charge admission. I mean, that'd be the probably the easiest buck you can make. I mean, without so much death and destruction, unless yeah, something went wrong like this. So yeah, like I said, Dodgson, major character, especially in the second novel, because he actually goes to the island to try and I think they're trying to retrieve the DNA. Yeah, geneticist. Yeah, engine and biosyn are at each other's throats in this series. They so Bison is the company in uh, Jurassic World Dominion that Lewis Dodgson is head of. So my only guess is Engine fell off after Jurassic Park, the events of Jurassic Park, and then Lewis Dodgson eventually took over Biosyn, his rival company. So that's my only guess as to how the first movie and the last movie are connected. Like we we didn't get a lot of explanation as to who Dodgson is in the movie, but it's hinted at that he was the one that sent Nedry to get the Barbasol can, because we see the Barbasol can in the tunnel. So yeah, it is Michael Crichton's signature novel, and yeah, I don't that's it, just like Tolkien with Lord of the Rings. That's the thing he's gonna be most known for, you know, when he goes. That's his magnum opus. So in the Lost World, we see chaos theorist and mathematician Ian Malcolm, who is revealed to have survived the events of the previous novel, encounters and reluctantly agrees to team up with wealthy paleontologist Richard Levine. The two attempt to search for a lost world of dinosaurs following rumors of strange animal corpses washing up on the shores of Costa Rica. They learn of Site B on Isla Sorna. Okay, so Nublar was the first island. Then Isla Sorna is in the second one. Yeah, where the now defunct company Engine hatched and grew the dinosaurs for their Jurassic Park theme park. 18 months later, afraid that the Costa Rican government will find Isla Sorna and destroy the dinosaurs, Levine hastily embarks on an expedition to the island without Malcolm. He arrives with a Costa Rican guide named Diego, but shortly after arriving, the two are attacked by mysterious creatures, later identified as a pair of Carnotaurus, who kill Diego. Yeah, those are the two guys we see in the boat at the beginning of the movie, I believe. Yeah. Eventually, Malcolm learns that Levine has gone missing there. Malcolm then goes to the island with a rescue team consisting of Doc Thorne, an engineer and retired university professor, Eddie Carr, Thorne's assistant, and two stowaway children, R.B. Benton and Kelly Curtis. So Kelly in the novel is not in any way related to Ian Malcolm. She's just a random child that stows away. They were working as Levine's research assistants. And then Dr. Sarah Harding, an ethologist and close friend of Malcolm, is also approached to join the expedition. Though she is initially unsure, she ultimately decides to meet them there. So yeah, in the movie, she's there first. She's there before Ian Malcolm even goes. Like she's raring to go. But in the book, she's more like hesitant. So that's one major difference from the book to the movie. The group arrives on the island with weapons and a conjoined pair of heavily modified, specially equipped RV trailers that we see that serve as a mobile laboratory. They find and explore a geothermal powered complex of abandoned engine buildings, including a worker village and a laboratory. They also eventually find Levine, who is overjoyed at the trove of information he can glean from this lost world and is ungrateful for being rescued. Benton wakes up first and manages to gain access to the old engine land network, allowing them to view the island by inbuilt cameras. Simultaneously, another group consisting of geneticist Lewis Dodgson and his assistant Howard King and celebrity biologist George Basilton. Is there such a thing as a celebrity biologist? I don't know. They learn of Levine's expedition and travels to Isla Sorna independently. The new group plans to steal dinosaur eggs for Biosyn, the rival company of Engine responsible for the sabotage that led to the Jurassic Park disaster. Yeah, Nedry turned the gates off. As they are about to leave, they encounter Harding and offer to give her a boat ride to Isla Sorna. However, just as they approach the island, Dodgson attempts to kill her by shoving her off the boat. She survives, though, and manages to meet up with Malcolm's group on the island. So I'm not going to give the whole plot away, but that's your basic premise. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. The second one I think is more different from the novel than the first one. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, some things do happen kind of the same. Point being, mankind's destructive habits are far more destructive to the earth than nature's. I mean, man is part of nature, but yeah, we're just way more destructive than other creatures. I was reading up on how he came up with the Lost World. It's the fans pressured him to write a sequel after the first one. So he must not have had plans before. Yeah, he had never written a sequel to any of his novels before. They're all like standalone. Prey and Andromeda Strain and Timeline. I have wondered if some of these animals we see in the movies were just like newly discovered and maybe not just made up like some of them were like I think was the Indoraptor somebody's gonna have to tell me in the comments like which ones were real and which ones were just made up for the movies because I don't know like I can't keep track of this stuff. I used to have a book full of dinosaur species, but they were always like discovering new ones, so they've always had to update them. So if you haven't checked it out before, if you've only watched the movies, even if you haven't watched the movies, read the Jurassic World, well, Jurassic Park, and see. So now that we've gotten these movies with that title on each one of them, I'm confusing world and park now. It's Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton and The Lost World by Michael Crichton, which not to be confused with The Lost World by Arthur Conan Doyle. That's an entirely different story. But check them out, and thanks for watching.